Well, with summer just around the corner, 3 weeks or so, that means Easter Seals camps are also starting up pretty soon. So here to talk more about those camps is Norm Blatchford with Easter Seals. Thanks for joining me, first of all.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting us.
Made the trek up to Squamish, not
Yeah,
bad?
not bad. It's a nice sunny day.
Yeah, good place to escape. So before we get into the camps and everything, if people don't know, what exactly is Easter Seals? We hear about it so much, a nonprofit, but what's it all about?
Easter Seals, we've been around since 1955, and we actually provide two major services. The Easter Seal camps that you spoke about, there's 3 camps, one in Squamish, obviously, one in Shawnigan, and one in Winfield. And it's for kids with disabilities to come from BC or Yukon, and they can come for a full week. Then we also have the Easter Seal House, which a lot of people don't necessarily know about. It's kind of like the secret of Vancouver. It's a place where families from outside of the Lower Mainland who need to come down for medical attention can come and stay for as little as $20 a night. We give them their private suite, own kitchenette, and private bathroom, and they're able to go to their appointments.
And these are families that are facing quite dire circumstances. Can you talk about the different, maybe range of kids that do come down that are staying at Easter Seals? It's quite serious, sometimes surgeries are going through, and this house means so much to them.
Absolutely. You know, what makes us kind of unique is that we are the house, as I like to say, the house for everyone. So it doesn't necessarily matter what your medical condition is that you're coming down for. So even in some cases, if a child needs a new prosthetic and they need to get refitted, they can still come and stay at Easter Seal House. And then the long term is we sometimes have kids with cancer that will end up spending almost 8 months at Easter Seal House with one or both parents as well. And so it varies. It doesn't really matter what your challenges are, as long as you're there for a medical appointment. And actually a lot of people from Squamish and Whistler do utilize the Easter Seal House.
Well, even if you're that close, you can still use
Absolutely.
it, which is great.
Yeah.
And what's so great for these kids, because they are facing such hard circumstances throughout the year, Easter Seals camps is the one time of year they can just forget about all their worries, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so maybe just lay out, as you mentioned, it's one of 3 camps for Easter Seals, but what's it all about? It's a week-long activity?
It is. What makes it unique is that it's actually an overnight camping. So lots of times for kids with disabilities, that's not a possibility. Even just finding an overnight babysitter can be a challenge for some of the parents. So they get to come up for a full week at camp, and what they end up doing is everything and anything that you would do at a regular camp. And what we've done is we've made it accessible for the kids. So we'll take a child out of a wheelchair, we'll put them up on a climbing wall, we'll get them into a swimming pool, we'll get them into canoes, and of course can't have camp without pranks.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you don't do any of those. Yeah.
We don't even have to initiate that or teach them that. Somehow they just come in knowing all that. And the other big part of camp is it's really a week of respite for the parents. So if you imagine if you have a child with a disability who you're watching and taking care of 24 hours a day, here's 1 week where you can send your kid up and not have to worry because we've got medical care for them. The camp counselors are trained onto dealing with different disabilities. So it really and truly is a safe place for the kids to be for a full week. And I've had one mom that once said she read a book. That's it. Something nice and simple.
Did nothing.
You know, from the front cover to the end without interruptions.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. And camp is just a magical place.
For sure. And these kids, what's the age range for participants for the generic camp?
They can start as young as age 8 and go up till they're 18. And once they kind of age out, as we call it, at 18, we do have a young adult camp as well.
Okay. And some amazing activities, as you're mentioning. So there's sports, they do art. We've got some of their artwork here as well, the kids do. Yeah, what do you think it means for these kids to just get a break from their everyday life? Like, how significant is it for them, these memories?
It's huge, and I know that firsthand because I've been around for 10 years and I've gotten to meet the kids and get to know them personally. I've heard kids that have actually said it's better than Disneyland. Wow. The kids really, really need it. It's a place where they can just be themselves. Disabilities don't count. Totally. There is no disability at camp. It's all about abilities.
And it's Nina. We actually took a trip together. We're going to give some inside information to the Yukon about a month or so ago, but it was neat to meet one boy, Lucas, in a wheelchair. But he was mentioning it's a chance for them. Some of these kids, it's the first time they've ever met another kid with their condition,
Yes.
which is amazing and hard to believe.
Yeah,
but how nice for them.
It is. It's also where they make friends, lifelong friendships. And thanks to social media now, they can stay in touch. They don't have to live in the same city. They can stay in touch with each other. Peer-to-peer support is huge for the kids. To have somebody that you can actually call on to ask, hey, I'm in this situation, what should I do? You know, can you help me with my challenges and stuff? And who better to answer it than somebody who's already been through it?
For sure. And it's completely nonprofit, Easter Seals. For the most part, you get the money for the camps through, I know, charity donations. You also do events throughout the year. Shaw TV has been involved in a few of those. We do the rappelling, which I haven't done yet. I'm hoping soon down the
We can make that happen today. I can sign you up.
Yeah. But tell us a bit more. Also, Women to Warrior, I took part. You have for many years at Swangard Stadium to raise money. But let's talk about one coming up on June 11th. You mentioned the Easter Seals Camp Challenge. People can sign up for, and all that money goes towards the camps.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. If you want to just think of it as an adult sports day, is probably the best way to do it. Think about it. It's our second annual one, and it's been successful, and people love it. You can come up for the day, and if you want, you can have camp overnight, which is what we kind of suggest. You might as well. I mean, it's Squamish, it's beautiful, and you get to camp right at our camp. And we have activities during the day that are sports day related. I can't give away too much. You know, we got to keep something secret. You know, you were at it last year, so we did see some dress up. And I definitely always recommend bring your camera because there's going to be perfect
the costumes are the best part.
Photo opportunities.
Yeah.
It's just an opportunity to be silly. Be silly, get out of your shells, come up, have some fun. You're raising funds to send kids with disabilities to camp, and you're at a beautiful facility.
You can't beat it.
That you can't beat the scenery. The scenery itself is worth everything, I think, alone.
And if people do want to take part in the Camp Challenge you mentioned, there's still time. Again, it happens June 11th, but how do people go about that?
Very easy. All you got to do is register online at eastersealscampchallenge.com. It's a minimum of $100 to raise per person, and bring out your team and just be prepared to have fun.
Okay, should be a good time. And again, if you want to perhaps your child take part in the Easter Seals camps, that's July and August they're running. They run every year, so maybe we'll throw up the link on the bottom of the screen for that as well.
Perfect.
Okay, well thanks for joining me, Nirm.
Oh, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.